Okay, so you can see now that my apple is dry. I have all of the shadows in, and it looks like a painting of a black and white apple, which is what you want. Regardless of the fruit, your painting should look like a black and white version of the fruit that you are painting. I get to decide now what color I would like to paint my apple. Apples come in all different colors kind of naturally, right? I can paint like a golden delicious, a yellow apple, an apple that's kind of yellow and pinkish or red, just a red apple, like a Honeycrisp apple that's both red and green. I could paint just a green apple. So there are all sorts of options for realistic colors of apples. Apples come in many, many colors, many, many combinations of colors. I can also, I'm the artist. I get to decide if I want to paint a purple apple. I get to paint a purple apple. That is 100% up to me. I think I'm going to go ahead and paint a red apple. But I'm going to start first with some yellow. We very often associate yellow with sunshine or light. And I also know that a lot of times an apple has kind of some yellow under, even if it's a red apple, like it'll have some breaks in the red pattern and it will have like a yellowy kind of tone. Just kind of add some of the golden yellow as well, so it's not just that bright, bright yellow. Now, in the image, this top section of the apple is definitely the brightest portion of the apple. Just going to go ahead. I could just stop the yellow at the top, but I'm going to go ahead and make the whole thing be kind of goldenly. So I want to make sure that I don't make this portion of my painting too dark. So I'm going to just even lighten up the yellow that's there. I want that kind of shine effect to still be in place when my painting is done. I am then going to paint a red apple. This red is kind of pink. This red is kind of orange. And to make like a real like red apple red, I'm going to go ahead and mix the two of them together until I'm just kind of reasonably happy with the color. So you can see I mixed them together up here and now I have like just a red. Because my yellow is still wet, I'm going to be able to do a little like wet into wet color mixing, and you'll see that I'm kind of starting where my apple would be darkest. I did just clean my paintbrush out. And I'm just going to continue to add this color to this apple. And because I have my shadows underneath, and because watercolor is transparent, my shadows should, for the most part, show through. I will have to let it dry. It's a really normal part of the process to need to let it dry. So I can finish some of the finishing details. So I want this section to stay kind of light, but I do want it to be red. If I have a hard time figuring out what color to paint my apple, I can go ahead and look at an apple. Like maybe I have an apple in my kitchen right now that I could go ahead and go look at. Or I could pull up a photo of an apple online. All of those things would be good options. I am going to get to the place right about now where my paper is really starting to be very, very wet. And I'm going to have to let it dry so that I can come back and add some finishing details and adjust my shadows. So don't ever be afraid to do that. Like a lot of times when we're making a watercolor painting, it will just get to the point that you have to let it rest. And that is definitely the stage that I'm at right now, where it needs to just dry.